Folks, how are you doing? So yes, I got more stuff again, and I just thought I'd show you these. As usual, I don't have any footage of these because it's very unspectacular how I got these, even though the haul itself is quite substantial. But essentially, I have these two vendor friends that I've established a very good relationship at. Well, I've 3 or 4 actually at different markets, but these two were at one market. The way it works is they essentially ring me the day before or a few days before the market is on and let me know if they have found stuff. These people are actually, they're scrappers really, you know, so they go help dismantle businesses, offices or houses due for renovation, and you know, they're told whatever is in there is going into a skip anyway, so you know, if you wanted to help yourself. So they get all sort of stuff like musical instruments and office supplies, and every now and then they get a few games. And I've actually got, you know, stuff, quite a substantial amount of stuff from them. Now they get it for free, so I actually get a very good deal. And the way they work, they sort of look at the eBay sold prices. They cut that by half, and then they do me on discount on that half anyway. So that's, you know, the half of the eBay price is probably the price they'll sell it at, and I get a discount from that because I just buy it if I'm interested in it. Now usually I'm usually interested in it, and if I have it already or I'm not quite interested in it, I know somebody who would, so I pass it on afterwards. So in that way I actually got, I think it was a Naomi arcade system that they gave me for free. One of them gave me for free, so I gave that to another friend of mine because I don't have a use for a Naomi system, but I knew he had. So anyways, that's the way it works, and it's all, you know, goodwill, and I pass it on if I don't need it or if it's given to me. But in this instance, it was quite a haul. So starting with, it was one of them actually had this. He said he had a Nintendo. That's all he said. I have a Nintendo case, and I was like, Nintendo game? What could he mean? I try not to discuss, you know, ask too much either over the phone or because it actually is done by text message, but I don't want to, you know, undo all the goodwill. So I just say, you know, thank you very much. I'll come have a look. So they put it aside from me, but this is what it was, a Nintendo case. This is a little kind of, you know, carry case for a Nintendo Game Boy. It's actually in very good condition, and I actually thought when I saw it, I said, oh, that's just a case. Well, not quite. In it was this beautiful, I have to say, Nintendo black Game Boy. It's super slick, I have to say. I love that Game Boy, so I'll probably mod that to have a backlit display at some point. But great condition. I'm even surprised if it has been used at all. The reason I'm saying that is that in here were 2 games in the box, and then you had a few more games with it, but 2 games, which is Tetris and Super Mario Land. Now I believe these were sold with a Nintendo Game Boy then, so I would venture this was actually never used at all, because I don't see any traces of use whatsoever on that black Game Boy. So there you go. That was one of them. With it were also 2 other games: DuckTales, which is not a bad game, and Mortal Kombat. Now I am not a fan of Mortal Kombat even in arcades, so it's still cool to find, and I'll take it. Yeah, what a find. I think he wanted 20 euros, 4 Game Boy games, a black Game Boy in a case. It's a very good deal in my book. The other vendor had, he said, a few SEGA games. Actually, I didn't know what I was expecting to find. I actually thought it was just a handful of Genesis, well, Mega Drive games, and it was in a way, but quite not, and I'll show you what I mean. What he said, a few SEGA games, was actually this lot of Mega Drive, well, not Mega Drive, but of Nintendo SNES and SEGA Genesis games, and this is actually quite unusual. So this is the lot that he found, and there's quite a few good titles in there. We'll go through them. So there's the 6-pack edition here. It has Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, Column and Super Hang-On. The next one is Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's actually a pretty cool game. This one is Deadly Moves. I haven't played that. I'm not familiar with it, but I'll take that. Now these are all Genesis games, which is very, very unusual to find in Europe anyway, and especially in Ireland. So I don't know where they came from or how he got his hands on it. But yeah, I know he dismantles a lot of businesses as well, and offices, and Ireland has been a hub for a lot of American offices to set up shop in Europe. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of them probably had a Genesis, or one of their employees had a Genesis at some point. Primal Rage, yeah, Art of Fighting, Gunstar Heroes, now that's a really cool game, Golden Axe, Shinobi 3, and Lethal Enforcers. These are all really cool games. Those last few ones, actually most of them are decent games, if I'm honest. And this stack here was actually from somewhere else, but it was actually quite a nice stack of games. So you had Ghoul Patrol, we've Donkey Kong Country, which I didn't have actually, Return of the Jedi. I like the Star Wars games on this. Star Wars, or Super Star Wars and Super Return of the Jedi. Another, I have that already, but it's cool to have another one copy. Street Fighter 2. There's a good bit of gunk. It's actually an old, there you go, it's peeling off sticker on this, but I'll clean that up. I said that the last time. That was probably a few weeks back now. And Super Ghouls and Ghost. Now, I mean, I got all this. What was it? I think it was 35 or 40 euros. That's not a bad deal. I mean, those, you know, a handful of these games would cost you that here nowadays. So, how many games is it? 1, 2, 3, 6 SNES games, and with 5 here and 9. It's not a bad haul for 35 euros. Quite a nice haul actually. I'm pretty happy with it. A total of 15 cards, 9 for the Genesis, and 6 for the SNES, and 4 games on the Nintendo Game Boy, and a very slick black Nintendo Game Boy and carry case. Anyway folks, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.